Hey, it's BT from Tales from a Gemini. My guest today is Miss Kentucky USA 2022, Lizzy Neutz. Lizzy is also a fellow actor of mine. We have the same acting class together. And she is exactly what you see. She's beautiful. She's down to earth. She's warm. She's loving. She's everything. She's about empowering women. She's a good cook. She plays basketball. What doesn't this woman do? You're going to love this. You know, when it comes to beauty pageants and contestants, me and my mom grew up watching beauty pageants, so that's why this one was close to my heart. And my mom even asked her a question. So enjoy this wonderful episode with my friend and Miss Kentucky USA, Lizzy Neutz. We live, Wyatt? All right. Wyatt, the time, please. I can't wait for this one. 1, 2, 3. Hey, it's BT with Tales from a Gemini. I am so happy for my guest today. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I live in Indianapolis, so twice a week, I go down to Louisville, Kentucky for acting class, because that's how great Indianapolis is. I go twice a week to Louisville, Kentucky, and usually I take my motorcycle down there. Well, one time I went, and it was just freezing, so I come in, I was a little bit late, and I'm trying to take my gear off, and I'm freezing. And this woman goes, "So you ride a motorcycle?" She said something like that. I really don't remember exactly because she was so pretty. When I looked over, I didn't know what to say. I was like, and I put my motorcycle gear up, and I was like, I think it came out like that. I don't know. And anyway, so we're going to acting class, and we see, they show, you know, when we do a scene or whatever, and they put it on the TV screen. This person was as talented as they were beautiful. Fast forward 3 months later, this person is the 2022 Miss Kentucky USA, my friend and great actress, Lizzy Neutz. How you doing, Lizzy?
I'm amazing. Well, amazing to be here with you. And then you just cracked me up telling me that story. I didn't even know that's what you were thinking then.
No, I was so cold though. And I was just freezing. And when you're freezing on a motorcycle, you're just miserable because I couldn't feel my hands. Mm-hmm. And I just remember you said something and I was like, and I looked over and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, And I put my motorcycle gear up and I was like, I don't know who this woman is, but oh my gosh, I've got to come to class every day from here on out. I might skip some gigs.
You're making me feel so good because I was like not wearing makeup and just so chill that day.
But that's you though. But that is honestly, that is you. And the thing about it is, you have at least preconceived notions of what maybe beauty pageant contestants are like. But I can honestly say, knowing you in class, just you have it's a natural beauty, and everything about you is it's where your posture's perfect. Everything you say is good. You're nice to everybody, and it's even before I knew you were a beauty pageant contestant, I was like, this woman is everything about you. You come in from working out, right? You have no makeup on, beautiful. And the way you converse with people, and it's all genuine. And I was so impressed. Now I found out you were running for Miss Kentucky. I go, she's going to win this. I go, who can beat her? Honestly, I was like, who's going to beat this woman? You're like the Mike Tyson of beauty contestants. You can't be beat.
You're making me blush over here. I'm like, thank you, BT. Seriously, coming from you, especially in the acting side, you're one of the best actors I know, and so getting a compliment from you on just my acting, that just made my day. I can tell you that.
Oh, stop it, Lizzy.
Yeah, no, because you're just you're such a genuine person and such a fun person to be around. So I'm glad that we were able to find each other through this class, and then also just continue on our acting journeys, knowing each other and seeing each other succeed. I think that's so cool too.
Well, you know what I wanted to know with this actually was because I wanted to go deeper because I knew you from class and I was like, she's great. And then when I found out you're a beauty pageant contestant, like I told you, me and my mother, growing up, we loved watching beauty pageants. It was weird. I had the best of both worlds. I tell people, my dad's Sports Illustrated would come in the mail, and my mom's Glamour magazine would come in the mail. So I had the sports side, and I also had the the sensitive side of me. And so you know what I mean. And that's part of being a Gemini. I have this side of me, which I used to wrestle and play football, but I had this side who was able to talk to women so what's going on up in here and up in here, So I loved watching beauty pageants. So now when I have you on, I want to know, when did that journey begin for you? Did you always want to be a beauty pageant contestant? And where did you grow up? And how did that come about?
I actually grew up with four brothers. So I was not very girly growing up. I was into basketball. I was always playing outside on my bike, doing whatever. And so I wasn't very girly. And so as I got older, I had a friend who was doing Miss Kentucky Teen USA in high school. And I was like, whoa, this is really cool. Okay. And so it was very interesting just learning more about the process. And then when I was in middle of high school, I started getting into acting and modeling. I was really just into just that type of art and creating such a story. And so as I just got a little bit older, I remember I was like 19 and I was on social media and I saw Miss Kentucky USA and I was like, this is a sign. I was like, this is a sign. This is something I want to do. I hadn't talked about pageants or seen pageants since I was in high school. And just everything about this organization and the way that they uplift women and they just support women. And it's a little bit of glamour and also just, just your real self as well being portrayed. And I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this. Like, and I just really wanted a way to connect with my feminine side because I hadn't been feminine my entire life. Like I said, I played sports. I was into all that. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to find a gown. I'm going to get into a swimsuit. I'm going to, go into an interview. And it was my first experience was just so amazing. I ended up making the top 5. And I just felt so blessed to, go out there and be able to, like I said, connect to my feminine side, but also just be myself on stage and be myself in the interview and see that pay off by being in the top 5. And then I caught the bug. Everyone talks about the pageant bug. They do. Yeah. It's a thing.
Yeah.
And I caught it. And so here I am. I competed I competed 3 times and I did not place last year. So that was my second time. I didn't place in the top 15. And that was hard.
And now,
that was hard.
Why do you think that was? I mean, knowing that you won now, why? What? What? It was the first 2 times. What do you think held you back?
I think last year I just was trying to be somebody that they wanted, and I wasn't being me, and that was hard because I was like, okay, I was in top 5 the first year. How do I go from being top 5 to the winner? Well, I need to do X, Y, and Z in order to do that. And so I was thinking in terms more of like, this is what they want rather than being myself and then hoping that I'm what they want, because pageantry is so subjective. Only one girl can win and it's whatever they're looking for. It has nothing to do with whether you're right or not. Maybe the next year you are because that's what they're looking for. But last year I would feel like it was a little more forced. And so
in what way though? In what way though? Like in what way? What was forced?
Forced as in just like forcing myself to be trying to be what they wanted. So I was trying to be very professional. So in my interview, and I remember watching my interview afterwards, I was so professional. And I'm like, I am a professional, but at the same time, I'm Lizzy as well. And we're all not professional 24/7. And so you need to portray your real self. They want to get to know you, not just this version of you that you're putting up within, this interview. And so I think that necessarily didn't help me. And then also, again, it could all just be about what they're looking for. Clearly they picked the right winner because she's Miss USA. I don't know if you've seen her. She's stunning.
Yes.
And
yes,
love her. She's a great representative. Couldn't have asked for a better representative. But again, I just felt like I was forced. I could have, changed some things up, but given it's all about the journey. So here we are. The year later, I won. And this year, I just really prided myself on just figuring out what I wanted to do, what I wanted my year to look like afterwards, and just kind of emulating that through the entire process, especially during pageant weekend. Who am I? What am I? What do I want? When I'm in the interview room, if they ask me a question, I want to answer from my heart, not from all these different things that I think they want to hear. I wanted it to be authentic. So I tried not to overthink everything and think of all these answers that I could say that are going to be perfect or on stage, like a certain turn that was going to be perfect. I just tried to do what was comfortable for me and what I felt like was real. And it ended up paying off. Thankfully.
It did. But what part of you, like, was there like, how are you, like, who is the real you? And was it hard to trust yourself? Because we talk about trust in acting, trust your instincts. So how hard was it for you to trust yourself saying this, like, man, I hope I'm not, Yeah, I have a hard time with that. It's like, how much of the real me do I really want to put out there? And I'm not a beauty pageant contestant, so I really have to watch myself. So with you though, like, who is the real you? Who is the real Lizzy? I mean, I think I know, but there's stuff about you last night. I didn't know you were in the culinary arts. I didn't know you played basketball. So who is the real you? Like, if I was interviewing you and I go, and say I was one of the judges or whatever, who is the real Lizzy Neutz?
I would just say that I'm just very diverse in everything that I do. So the real me is somebody who did play basketball. I'm very sporty. I love going to basketball and football games, and I love to go on adventures, whether that's hiking or climbing or skydiving. I don't know. I've done all of that. But I also love acting and modeling. I'm really into that artistic side of me, to portraying a story, portraying a character, and really feeling that. But then I'm also an entrepreneur, and I love to just help women build confidence, because I think that's one of the biggest things, just for women and men in general, is building confidence in anything that you do, whether that's in business, whether that's in life, whether that's in acting. It's just being confident in that. And so I feel like I have so many different things and so many different things to offer that I don't need to, like I said, last year, I was just being that professional. I'm trying to show my whole range of me, because I'm not just one thing. I make up a ton of things. And so I think that's what I mean when I say that I was just trying to be me, and how I wanted to not necessarily present myself, because you are on a stage and everything, but just how I wanted just to be myself and to show all those different sides of me. So hopefully that answered your question. Like, I was going all around.
No, listen, I wanted you to talk, because, like you said, in acting, that's part of acting is the listening. So I tried to cut you off. I wanted you to talk. Now, are you a Gemini?
I'm actually a Taurus.
When is that? What month is that?
Late April.
Oh, your birthday's coming up.
Yeah.
April when?
April 28th.
My mother's is somewhere around there.
I thought you were going to say it was the 28th.
No, I think hers is the 22nd. So you and my mom. Okay. So if you're anything like my mom, I know you got a good right hook. I mean, if you're anything like my mom.
Well, growing up with 4 brothers, you would be surprised. They were older than me, so I had to get a little bit crafty in the way that I did things. My dad told me one time, I have a twin brother, so he told me one time I threw a remote like dead center on my brother's forehead, and he started bleeding. And my dad was like, at that moment, I didn't know whether to be proud of you or to be mad that you made your brother start bleeding. He was like, it was great, but at the same time. So I learned to be very crafty in how with the sibling rivalry, to get back at it a little bit.
Well, I'm not going to make you mad if the TV remote around. I'm going to leave you.
Yeah, be really scared of a TV remote in me.
Wait, okay, let me ask you. I want to ask you this: is that, like, being so sporty? Because I know you like. I saw your pictures. You like to hike, and you're very outdoorsy. Just sports in general. Now, was there a time the closer the pageant got, did you get scared of getting like Marsha Brady, like when that football came and hit her nose, like, oh my nose, oh my? Were you afraid of like maybe getting like a black eye or playing? I mean, were you afraid of that?
Definitely. Yes. So at least like 2 weeks before, I try to refrain from those sort of things, or putting myself in a position, because knowing me, I probably would end up getting something like that to happen right before the pageant. Like last year, I accidentally burnt my arm. I was like, of all times, it was the 2 days before the pageant, and I burnt my arm. And I remember I had a huge burn mark right here, and it was from a curling iron. And I was like, okay, I'm going to stay away from this year. I was like, I'm going to stay away from hot things until the day of the pageant, because knowing me, it probably would happen.
You should walk around with a football helmet. That'd have been great. Seriously, like a helmet or something, because you never know. You could run. If you're like me, you could run into something. And I always work out with a mouthpiece, because I grit down when I lift. Have a mouthpiece, always be ready. Now, I thought about that because I see all your pictures. You're a very sporty person. Like, you hike a lot. And then I saw that you, like you said, you're into basketball. So I was like, man, I wonder if she was worried about maybe having an injury or just something. Because you always come to class right after working out.
I do. Well, and I live my life and work out here. I'm an athleisure person until the day that I die. I do like to dress out too, but I just like to be comfortable. And I think that's me. And again, I'm very sporty. Like I do work out a lot, and I want to be my authentic self, whether that's in acting class or just at my house. So I try to just, maintain that through my life.
Good for you. Okay, now what position did you play in basketball? What position?
I was a 5. I was a center. And that
You
may
were
be
a
crazy
center?
yes, BT. I know what you're thinking. But I was very aggressive, okay? Growing up with brothers, again, very aggressive. I was able to put my butt into some girls and, hold my own, but it definitely got a lot more challenging.
You put your little skinny butt up against people as a center.
It was hard. That's why when I got into high school, I struggled with that position. I ended up going a little bit to power forward. We had taller girls than me, but I will say, BT, I was aggressive. I was not afraid to put my butt into a girl and try to hold my own. Try is the key word.
Hey, as my wrestling coach would say, it ain't the size of the dog's in the fight. Size of the fight's in the dog. So, I mean, that's great. But still, wasn't there a time when girls were like, really? And they give you one of these? Did you come back at them? Did you come back at them? Did you ever get a foul? Did you ever get like a tech? Did you ever get a tech?
When I was younger, yes. So when I was in middle school, absolutely. I was very aggressive in middle school. I'm not gonna lie, especially in basketball. Not that I was intentionally hurting anybody or anything, but I was a little bit more aggressive to when I got into high school. Someone did that to me. Yeah, I'd be mad, but I wasn't gonna do it back because it would have just made the situation worse. And I was trying to work on not escalating a situation, especially with girls that are like twice as big as me.
And were you in public school?
I was in private.
Oh, well,
Actually,
there you go.
There
you go. Yeah, if you're in public school in Louisville, you don't want to do that. You don't.
Yeah, well, and we played just all over Kentucky and everything. So I was not trying to cause me problems. And again, I was so small in comparison to the girls that I was like, okay, I'm good. I want to be good after this.
How tall are you anyway? How tall are you?
I'm only 5'8". So I was going up against girls that were like 6 foot, 6'1".
And you wouldn't scared.
That's what I said. They were like double my size. It was a challenge. And I did okay in high school. I was definitely better in middle school because girls were more at my like playing field in terms of height. But once I got into high school, that got challenging.
Well, you know what? It's weird. I see that in you. I mean, I see that competitiveness in you without it being overbearing. You know what I mean? It's like it's underneath. I can see that though. You know what I mean? Like
really?
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. It's a quiet confidence about you. You know that it's admired, but I can see that underneath there's something underneath. It's like the movie. There's something lies beneath. I can see that though. No, seriously, I think it's great though. But did you apply those principles to the beauty pageant? Like those same kind of principles?
I did. Yeah. I'm a very competitive person. I always have been. I did try. So when you're going into a pageant, it's not you versus anybody else. It's you versus you. You're only competing against yourself because given only one person can win, and you're going to have a million other amazing women that are also competing. So you don't want to, you want to like help, not necessarily like you want to help them, but you don't want to like harp on what they're doing. You just want to focus on what you're doing and how you can be better, how you can be the best you during the pageant. And so I was mainly competing with myself and trying to get in the right mindset of, okay, I need to get out of my head and just think about me. I love all the people that are competing. I was friends with all of them and having a good time, but I'm the only one that's going to hold me back from being the best me. And so I really tried to focus on that this year and just focus on my mindset and just getting into a positive mindset. Like if I did wrong, okay, that's okay. I love the peace sign. Sorry, I just saw it.
And you saw my man right there. Yeah. I told you. That's why I love it. That's why I love being here. It's the greatest podcast in the world. It really is.
I love it. Yeah, that's hilarious. But just trying to like rein in, like maybe if I thought I could have done something better, just, okay, that happened. I'm moving forward. How can I move forward and be better? And not thinking about what the other, however many girls are doing, because again, it is a pageant. You are competing technically against other people, but you're competing mainly against yourself.
Did you do a lot of self-talk? Did you do a lot of reading up on like, for me, The Secret works and a new book called Project 369, that's worked for me. So how about you? Like how did you get in your right mindset?
I'm gonna have to remember Project 369 because I did read a book leading up to Miss Kentucky USA this year. It was called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a
Yes, I saw that, and I was like, "Oh my God, can she put that out? Is that going to hamper you?" I'm like, "Oh my God, don't do that," because they might go through your social media and go, "Oh, what is this about?" But I saw that. Did it help?
Yeah, and it's a great book. I highly recommend because it talks about we all have problems. We all think about our problems, and it talks about making your priority on the problems that are going to move you forward, not the problems that are going to hold you back. So if I'm worrying about, oh, my hair looked bad in that photo, that doesn't move me forward, or that actually just, it makes me get into a negative mindset, like, oh, my photos this is going to be bad. It's more about thinking like, how can I do better? What problem can I solve that's going to make me better? And so I was reading that, and it just got me into a mindset of not harping on the little things that I couldn't change, that again, maybe you wanted to do better, but you can't change that. It's, me thinking about it's not going to help. It's more so thinking and trying to change the things that are going to move me forward. So I read that book. I did a lot of journaling. I did a lot of affirmations. So affirmations are great. I did that leading up to the competition, probably about 2 months prior.
Oh no.
And I'm still doing them for Miss USA. And just trying to get yourself into a mindset of who you want to be. And I 110% stand by affirmations. I think that they're really powerful. I think they can really help. And I recommend them for everything. So that really helped my mindset personally.
Do you ever write affirmations down on a Post-it note and put them on your bathroom mirror, or put them on your, because that's what I would do sometimes. Write them down, you put them on your bathroom mirror, or a thing I would do is you write it, for some reason when you have a Sharpie and you write it on a piece of paper, you write it down the night before, what you want to happen the next day, you look at it, you read it out loud, you let it go to the universe, and you go to sleep, and you wake up, you say it out loud, and you let the day go by. I mean, did you ever do that?
So I would just write it down in a journal. I never wrote it down and put it on a mirror. I did have a vision board that had everything that I was writing down, what the things that I wanted to emulate throughout my 2022. Oh, I was about to say 2020, but it's 2022. But I would say every time I would write my affirmations, I would definitely say them aloud, because I think once you actually say it aloud, you're hearing it as well. It's going out into the universe. And so for example, one of the things that I was kind of worried about, it was about a month and a half before the pageant. I hadn't found a gown yet. And I was so nervous. I was like, there's going to be no gowns. There was one gown that I was in love with that it wasn't going to come in time before the pageant. And so I kept writing down, I found the perfect gown. I found my dream dress. I kept doing that over and over.
Yes.
And I found it. And when I was there, I was like, this is the dress. And I was definitely stressing a little bit about trying to find a gown that I felt confident in. But I think writing those down helped me feel better, because I kept reaffirming myself that I'm going to find the gown that's going to make me feel most confident on stage. And I did. And so that's, just an example of how powerful I feel like, because I don't necessarily know if it works for everybody, but for me, it's been very powerful and just very uplifting, especially when you're a little bit stressed.
Man, good for you. I'm a firm believer in that. And that's one of the principles of Project 369 is that you write it down like that. And long story short, I had lost my passport and I had to go, I need that for work. And almost exactly like you said, I wrote it down. And it looked like all hope was lost. I had to be in Chicago at the passport office. It closed on Christmas Eve. It was the day before when I got the call. They go, can you be up here before 4? And it was 11 o'clock. And I go, yes. And I got to rent a car, and I drove to Chicago, and I got my passport, and I was working within 5 days.
Wow.
So I'm a firm believer in that. And it's like, I want to know, what has ever gotten you down? Because people always see people like you, and they see people who are positive, but we're all human, and we all have their ups and downs. Like, when's the last time you've been down and where you were like, it's got you down that you had to have a hard time getting up?
Last year after the pageant, when I didn't make top 15, that was hard, because that was the last time that I felt really, really down. I remember after that, which I feel like I'm a pretty positive person, but after that, it was hard because I had gone from making top 5 the year prior, and I was hopeful that I was going to do just as well the next year. I felt like I put a lot of preparation in. And that's all in hindsight. At the time, I thought that I, was doing the proper things. And so when I didn't make the top 15, that was hard for me. That was really hard. And I didn't understand. Now that I've had a year since that happened, I was able to watch my videos and just talk to people. Like, I understand what I was doing wrong, but, or not necessarily wrong, but maybe what wasn't working for me. And obviously it wasn't my time to be crowned either. So, I just feel like that was really hard. And so to get me out of that, I just try to focus on how I could be the best me, and knowing that whether or not I won this pageant, it wasn't going to define me. Because I think that gets hard too, especially when you're in the pageant.
Yeah.
And after the pageant, you're like, oh, well, I didn't make top 15. Now I'm embarrassed because I made top 5 last year, and people are going to, you just start having all these limiting thoughts that really don't help you at all.
Yes.
And I had those. I went through an up and down cycle with it. And so just coming in this year, I was just trying to better myself, whether that was in pageantry, whether that's with my women's group, whether that's me buying apartments, whether that's just connecting with things that I like being outside and hiking, and just kind of going back to me. And so that's what I really tried to focus on. And it helped for me this year, but it just helped just in growth in general. And that's what pageantry is all about. You grow so much. I think everyone that's been in pageantry just talks about how much you grow, because you learn so much about yourself, whether you do well or you don't. You learn so much, and it's insane, and you grow so much. And it's been a great ride, and I've really enjoyed every aspect. And given I came back 3 times, so I loved it enough. I obviously loved it a lot. So,
well, let me ask you: did you cry though? Did you cry when you didn't make the? I mean, and when it was all over, and no one saw you, and you got in your car and you got to your apartment, did you cry?
I did. I held it in for a long time, but I don't do very well when people want to console me.
Yes.
So I had a couple friends backstage, and that didn't make it either. And so we were talking, and we all everyone backstage is crying. It's really hard. And honestly, like, I'm very grateful because I got to see all aspects of it. I did win. And so I got that feeling, but I also know what it's like to be backstage and to not make it, and how hard that is. And to see what that looks like. And that's hard. And you feel so much for all the girls while you're back there as well. And just in general, because it's hard, because everybody comes in here wanting to win, and wanting to do very well. And so, yeah, I did cry. I cried with my family too. I was like, I'm not going to cry when I see my family. I'm not going to cry. And they started talking, and I started crying. I was like, it's so hard when people want to console you. And
was it an ugly cry? Was it like or did you I'll be right back? I mean, seriously, because I mean, sometimes when I screwed up an audition in Chicago one time, and I waited till nobody was looking, and I got in my car, I looked around, and I just hit the steering wheel, and I just started crying. So was it an ugly cry? Were you like, oh my God, Lizzy, you go right? Or was it like a
I don't know. I don't think it was pretty by any means, because I couldn't speak. So I was like, you can't speak. But yeah. And then you have, like I said, my family was there, and they were all trying to talk to me, and it's really hard. So I won't say it was pretty, but I don't know if it was ugly. I honestly,
well,
it probably was.
Everybody has an ugly
cry. It probably was, but
yeah.
I wasn't like angry sad. I was just sad. And again, like I said, I was a little embarrassed, which hindsight, there was no reason for me to be embarrassed, but I want to be authentic when I'm talking to you about kind of the feelings that I had afterwards. And like I said, the reasons is because people had high expectations. I had more family come out to the second pageant because I did so well the first one. I had more family watching, and they all logged in on finals night, and I didn't make it. And I was like, that's hard. I was embarrassed that they couldn't see me, and and given hindsight, I'm very thankful for that experience, and to not making the top 15 and just having all that growth. And I'm sure my family, they weren't thinking anything like I was imagining during that time. Yeah. And they've been very supportive. But yeah, it was very hard.
Well, basically what happened to you was Michael Jordan's moment when he didn't make the basketball team. That's what happened. And you were like, yes. I'll show you. And what happened? You came back the next year, and now you're champion. And now they're going, wow, what was wrong with us last year? You're like, yeah, that's right. I'm the champion now.
And that's what I was telling all the girls who didn't make top 15 this year. Like, I remember right after I was one, I literally looked at them, and I was like, this doesn't mean that you can't win, because I did it. You guys can do it. And it's just crazy. And I just, I had to find a lot into myself to be able to do it again, because like I said, I was pretty down after last year, which is, again, okay, I allowed myself a little bit of time to do that, but I also kind of vamped it up to be able to win this year, or just do my best and be my authentic self. And
I think the big reason was, I think the big reason was because in class we talked about it, and then you had met me this year, and I think all that positive vibes from the class
you do
and
have
me.
Such positive vibes. I think it's all about who you surround yourself with too. You're a great person to be around. You're so positive, and just having just that atmosphere, especially in the acting world where everyone's so supportive. Obviously there's going to be some people that aren't, but in our group, everyone's so supportive. I haven't met one person that doesn't want any of us to succeed.
Yes.
And that's so important. And so I really tried to do that this year, and my friendships as well, as who's going to support me, and just trying to be around that type of positivity rather than the negativity, because there's enough of that out there in the world.
Okay, well, let me ask you that. Let me ask you this now. No names. Was there ever any cat fighting that we don't know about? Was there like one contestant you go, really? And she's like, meow. Like, she's something like, wow, I wouldn't wear my hair like that. Like, oh, really? I mean, was there any of that? Any like maybe backstabbing, like, nice dress, and they didn't mean it, and you want to just kind of like trip, not really trip them, but kind of like, oh, you didn't make it. Well, you know what I mean? I mean, was there any of that? And maybe from one contestant.
Not really. Honestly, most of the girls are pretty fair and just pretty nice, and just, obviously there probably is some of those girls, but I didn't really encounter them. I feel like everybody all 3 years has just been so great, so helpful, just trying to have a good time, because you only get pageant weekend 1 week in a year. True. And very supportive. And so I've been very lucky. I haven't experienced it. I'm not saying that it's not out there, but I haven't experienced it. So. Well,
the reason I say that, if you look, Wyatt, if you look on her Instagram page where she's being crowned, the look on Miss Frankfurt's face is like, now, did you talk to her about that? Because when I put it out there on Instagram, I go, any questions you want me to ask? And they go, why is Miss Frankfurt so salty? And so I was thinking the same thing. I go, oh my gosh, she don't look like she's happy. So that's where that question came from.
I feel really bad for her about that photo, because anything can be captured at any time. And I was really good friends with her the entire pageant weekend. Afterwards, she came up to me telling me how excited she was. Like, she was very supportive of me, even before I was crowned and even after. Like, we spent a lot of time together. And so when that photo came out, I just felt bad for her, honestly, because she could have been, transitioning from a smile. So she was, maybe just had a down face, or I don't necessarily know, but I know that doesn't reflect her personally. Like, I know her personally, and I know that's not how she felt. Yeah. And she did reach out to me, and I was like, girl, you don't even have to worry about me. I knew, and I felt so bad for her that was how she was being portrayed in that photo. But it happens. You're Indian, and also she was in top 6 as well, and so that's hard. I've been there. I know how that feels. Yeah. Everybody wants to win, so I get that, and so I was just like, don't worry about me. I love you. You know that. Like, I know you were supportive of me, and so I have no hard feelings about that. I just honestly feel bad that photo had captured her in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, I had to go there because I put it out there on Instagram last night. Yeah, my buddy said, "Hey, ask her why Miss Frankfurt was so salty." But yeah, I know how photos can be and make you look bad. But I totally understand. I was just give you some.
No, you're good. I appreciate it, because I've had several people ask me about it, and so that's kind of the response I've had every time is, she is really supportive of me, and it was just a bad timing photo, and it happens, and nothing we can do about it. Right. But hopefully anyone that's listening, she's great. I don't have any ill feelings towards her. I actually love her a lot. And that doesn't reflect her at all.
Now, one of your platforms was mental health. Is it something you could talk about? Like, why was that one of your platforms? Why do you feel strongly about that? I saw in a couple of your posts you mentioned it, and how it's it's a topic that feels. I mean, that you feel strong about. Obviously, because it's one of your platforms. Can you talk on that? Expand on that a little bit.
Mental health, I just think is relevant to everybody right now, especially coming out of this pandemic.
Yes.
Everybody's life was changing. We all kind of had to adapt to certain things, and that was hard. So I think even if you're not struggling with a mental illness, we're all still struggling with some sort of just our mental health in general and how to maintain that. But for me personally, one of my siblings has schizophrenia. So that for my family was very hard. It happened a couple of years ago. We had no idea what to do. And it's something that is still hard for me to talk about today. To this day, I'm trying to be more open because it happens.
Yeah.
These things are happening to people, and they need help, and they need to know just families too need to know the resources that are available to get help, not only for them, but for the families, because that's important. I was a family member. My mom and we went to a group and we talked and learned more about what was going on. And we connected with other families who were also dealing with a similar situation. And that helped a lot for us because we knew we weren't alone. And I think that's important for everybody, is just to know that you're not alone, because it happens to everybody. And so that's a huge thing that I really want to talk about this year, is just how to get resources, because everyone talks about mental health, but what are the action steps that we can do to actually help? And I think it starts with resources. So like, for example, I work with NAMI. They offer free support groups. They offer free family support groups. They offer free classes, workshops, different things that are all free and that are available. And being able to utilize that is very important. And especially for people coming from all different types of income classes, I think that's an amazing tool as well. So that's my spiel.
No, I think honestly, it needs to be put out there, because I mean, it's got to be hard to even say that. I could tell that, it's got to be difficult. Have you looked into and I'm a person that's really into holistic kind of medicine, whatever, I'm plant-based and everything. And I'm a firm believer in that, and looking at alternative forms of treatment. So if you looked into maybe the chemical imbalance in the brain, and maybe it can be, can it be changed through a diet or what you're putting into your body? I mean, have you looked into that, and does it help?
For me personally, I have, because I do struggle with anxiety, and I don't like to take I know that's weird. BT, you didn't know that about me. I do, and it's more on anxiety of, is something gonna harm me? Am I putting something in my body that's gonna create me to get a disease or something? So I'm a little bit of a hypochondriac in that sense, and I sometimes get really anxious about that. So for me, I try to do holistic ways like meditation to try to calm that down.
Yes.
And then also putting good foods in my body, like fruits and vegetables, making sure that I eat a lot of fish to kind of help support my brain. As far as schizophrenia or bipolar, I haven't tried anything or recommended anything, because I think there needs to be a little bit more research done. It's just so hard because it is your brain, and you can't dissect it the way that you can different types of organs, because if you dissect a brain while someone's alive, it could mess some things up. But I do love to think of things in a holistic approach. We've definitely tried to go a holistic approach with one of my siblings. And so far it hasn't worked out, but I think that holistic things are very powerful. People have been using them for years, and they've worked, and they still can work. And so I'm pretty optimistic about that.
That is awesome that you use meditation and well, you can just tell by your diet that you use, honestly, that you're taking in the right stuff, because your skin is flawless. I mean, when you come into class after working out, it's so weird to say this, because it used to be so unattainable. You see somebody, that's a pretty girl, whatever. But just knowing that you're in, the pageants, whatever. And I just remember seeing you after working out, knowing that you worked. You didn't just put the clothes on to come to class. You actually worked out. And I'm going, her skin is flawless. And I mean, you understand, when you're in class, I'm watching her, your posture's straight. You say the right thing. You say them in the right way. When you talk to people, you engage. It's not just a flippant, you engage, but it's an authentic. And I'm just like, my gosh. I mean, it's unbelievable. So, you said diet. Yeah, it's easy to understand that with you, because you always have water. You always stay hydrated. Like I said, your skin is flawless. Your pore, everything is just perfect. So, that's why I asked, because I'm a firm believer in the holistic medicine and being in the natural way as much as possible. I'm a firm believer in that. I'm glad I found that out in my life. Yeah. So, that's why I asked that.
I agree. I do everything. Even when I'm sick, I do holistic options. I don't ever take an ibuprofen. I don't have anything against it. But for me, I don't know. I don't like to put extra stuff in my body when I feel like I can heal it
From the
with
inside.
holistic methods.
Yeah,
From the inside out, and heal it with holistic methods. And again, I'm not against medication. I think some medications are important, especially with certain types of mental illnesses, until we figure out kind of how to do it maybe more in a holistic way, if that's possible. So I am for that, but at the same time, I think it's important to look at the holistic methods because they've been around for years,
Yeah.
and there's so many amazing things that you can do to just help promote good health in general, good mental health, good physical health. And there's a lot of options.
Now, I don't know if it's going to get you in trouble, and I don't mean to get you in trouble. You can skip it if you want to, but and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. What about the medical marijuana or HBD I mean, is that part of your, because, you know, it's always been demonized, and now finally it's in the forefront of it does help in a lot of people. And even Mike Tyson said it, because I think is he manic? He's manic depressive, right, Mike Tyson? I think he's one of them. But he said he wished he would discover that early on in life. It would have helped him out. It would have kind of smoothed him out. So are you into that, or are you looking into that as a method or a form of healing?
I haven't, so I wouldn't be the best person to tell you. I'm
not asking if you did or not. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no. I really haven't done any research into whether it is holistically good or not. Obviously, you hear such amazing stories from people, so I think that that's a really interesting thing and needs to be looked at more, because if it can help people, I'm for whatever's going to help people. Yes. I think that that's the most important thing, is everyone's well-being.
Yes.
And if medical marijuana is something that could help, then maybe. I just don't know enough research about it. So yeah. I'm kind of at like a maybe.
No, I mean, no, it's fine. It's fine. I just don't want to get you in trouble, because I know, you have that image to uphold, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. I would be, if I knew more about it, I would give more of a stance on it, but I really don't. So I'm just not the best person to talk with about that, honestly.
And one of the other things that I just loved about you is you're a founder of another Instagram account. It's Empowering Women for the Future. And when I saw that, I go, man, that's why you're just the best. And I mean, like, can you talk about that, and what got you into that? And without being like, I'm saying overbearing, but it's like, it's beautiful because you get these women together and it's just nothing but good, positive vibes. What made you what made you get that? What made you found that?
I moved back from Salt Lake City. So I lived in Salt Lake. I didn't know if you know that about me.
Yeah.
When I was 19, I lived there for a year, and I moved back. I was getting into real estate at the time, and I was at these real estate events. And real estate, especially on the investing side, is a lot of men. And so, which is great. I don't have anything wrong with that, but I was wanting to connect with more women and find people women that I could connect with that were on similar paths. Paths. Okay, we're gonna roll over that that I was on, and so and so I wanted to start a group just so that I would be able to just meet other women within my community. So it started off, I had 10 people at my first event. I was like, this is a disaster, but I stuck with it. Yes. Not a disaster, because honestly, it was very intimate. It was great to get to know the women that did come. And then my next event, I had 50 women. And so at first it was mainly based around women entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So I was having a speaker come and just to talk about their journey and how women entrepreneurs in Louisville could up their business, up their mental, like just getting on the right path to owning a successful business. And so as I was continuing on, COVID hit. So I kind of hit a little bit of a rough, it was a little rough there for a little bit because we were on Zoom. It's hard to get people on Zoom. And so I had to think to myself, I wanted to rebrand and do something that wasn't only just going to be geared towards women entrepreneurs. I wanted it to be something that all women, whatever they're doing, can come to. So if you're in the medical field, if you're into business, if you're into law school, being a lawyer, yeah, I want you there. And so I just wanted to create that type of atmosphere. And so I rebranded into just Empowering Women for the Future. How can we build you up? So how can we build your confidence? How can we help keep you around women who want to support you? Because that's really important instead of being competitive. How can we connect you with also those women who are in similar industries that you're in, or maybe it's not a similar industry, but it kind of coincides with what you're doing, and how can you build whatever you're doing doing based off that. And then I also love to support women entrepreneurs in Louisville. So at every single one of my event, I'm always supporting, or I have a sponsor come in that is a local business ran by a woman. So I'm still incorporating those things that I wanted at the beginning, but kind of at a different level to where it's inclusive to all women and whatever they're doing. And I really enjoyed it.
I can tell. I can tell.
Every event it makes my heart so happy because I see all these women coming together from different backgrounds, from different types of jobs, and just connecting and learning and growing. And so I'm really excited to see where I can go with that. I have some really good ideas, so I'm excited to share, especially after being crowned. I have some things that I also want to do. And so I'm just really excited, and I'm blessed to be in the position and have this group of women who support me.
That's great. I mean, honestly, it's great. That way, there's no backfighting. That's the way women should be. Uplift each other. Quit trying to, put each other down. That's beautiful, and it's great. And I think it's awesome. But I also want to know, when you were in Utah, did they try to recruit you for the Mormon Church? They try to recruit you?
No.
They didn't? You sure?
Actually, no. Yes, very positive. I love Utah.
They didn't leave. They didn't bicycle up to your house or something and go, "Hey, could you?" And you go, "Get away from me." I mean, come on, tell the truth. Did they?
I did not. I did not have that experience. If you didn't know, I lived in Salt Lake. Salt Lake's actually only 50% Mormon, so half the people there aren't Mormons, and
they're sinners.
So I think
they're all sinners.
Yeah, we're all sinners. I got asked a couple of times when I was moving out if I was becoming Mormon, and I was like, no, I'm just going to visit Utah. I think, and I met so many people that were Mormons and who weren't, and they're all just great people. I have no ill feelings towards anybody I met in Utah or even the Mormon Church. I think everyone has the right to believe in whatever they want. So
yeah.
So that's what they want to do. Who am I to tell them no?
So you weren't like a third or fourth wife to somebody, and then you said to scram, I don't need this, and so you just
nobody wants me as a third or fourth wife. I can tell you that.
You were playing the five. You were
playing. My personality is I'm all five wives in one.
Yeah, you know what? I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. You're right. I mean, in a good way. In a good way. I can see that in a good way.
Man.
No, I can see that.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, no, you're good. I want to know, what do you do for fun? I mean, when it's all said and done. I know you do great TikTok videos. I know that. You put out a great one with that one girl. I saw that one, and I thought it was great. It was Instagram. So what do you do for fun? What does the Miss Kentucky USA do for fun when there's no cameras around, and when you're either with yourself or with your friends, and you can just really let your hair down? What do you do that people would be surprised about? What do you do?
Surprised about?
Yeah, they go, "Oh my God, you like this?" Or are you a metalhead, or do you bang your head? Or are you a big rap fan? Or do you have a rap video out somewhere and people go, "Shh, don't show this"? I mean, what do you do that people be surprised?
Well, in terms of that, I would say that I like to sing a lot, and imagine that I'm in a music video. I could never be in a music video or a singer because I'm a rough singer. I'm not gonna lie. I've never been good, but I like to pretend that I am. So definitely in my car.
Who do you sing? Who's your favorite to sing?
I like Billie Eilish right now. She tells a story, and so when I'm singing, I feel all the emotions. I'm going up and down, and I'm like, I'm imagining what's happening right now.
Sing me a little Billie. Sing me a little Billie Eilish. Sing me some Billie Eilish. Come on, sing me some Billie Eilish.
Let me think. Oh man, the only song that's coming to my head right now is "No Time to Die," and I can't on the spot. You're asking me to think about the song. Ooh, I'm trying to think of how it starts. You're putting me on the spot.
I know. Hey, come on now. This is on the spot, Miss USA Kentucky. It's what we're doing. That's what you got to do. It's part of the improv and being an actor. It's part of the improv of being an actor. So let's just say you're going for a part, and they go, "Who's your favorite singer?" Billie Eilish. Sing me a little right now, and the part's yours. And the part's yours.
Yeah, I'm really stumped right now. I can't, I'm honestly trying to think of the lyrics of the song. I'm about to turn it on right now.
It starts with "I should have known." I'm looking at the lyrics right now.
I should have known.
I for some reason in my head right now is a song by Sam Smith that's very similar. That's "Writings on the Wall." I don't know if you've heard that either.
Sing some of that then. Sing some of that.
Let me pull it up.
I think she'll have a good voice.
Hear it in the background. It's like, I can hear it. I can hear it in the background. The words, I'm blanking. I'll pull on writings on the wall.
Her voice sounds good.
And we'll break out in a song right now, actually.
We're going to break out in a song because your voice does sound good. You're saying it doesn't sound good. I'm like, whatever. Everything you do is good. Here we go. Sing it. Sing it.
This is Sam Smith, though, but they're kind of similar vibe.
Sing it. Sing it.
I know.
Sing it.
Here it goes. I've been here before, but always hit the floor.
Yes!
I spent a lifetime running, then I always get away. But with you, I'm feeling something that makes me want to stay.
Oh,
I'm prepared. See, it's not great.
listen, I can't believe you did that, though. You did it. You sang for me. Yeah. Hey, Wyatt, give her a hand, Wyatt. Come on now.
I gotta turn my mic on.
This is once in a lifetime to hear me perform live.
I think that's good. No, it just shows, like you said, it just shows that you're here. You know what I mean? Like you're not unattainable. It's like you're one of us because we all do that. Who doesn't sing in the car, in the shower? Who doesn't do that?
If you don't, I may be questioning everything. I'm just kidding, but I think everybody does it. It's a form of therapy. It really is.
And dancing. If you don't dance or sing in the shower, whatever, it's like it's almost like having a kid who's not funny in a certain way, only to you. You know what I mean? It's like, what's wrong with this kid? It's therapeutic. It really is. You know, you did a great job, by the way. You did a great job.
Oh man, I'm sure it was just such an A+ performance on my end.
No, just the fact that you did it. Even Wyatt, my producer, was like, man, look at her. I mean, but then again, Wyatt didn't really know. Wyatt doesn't know music. Check this out. He doesn't even know who Pearl Jam is. He never knew who Pearl Jam was. He is a 20-year-old white kid who doesn't know who Pearl Jam is.
I know Billie Eilish.
Of course you know Billie Eilish because she's about your age. But you don't know who Pearl Jam is.
Yeah, I was about to say. I bet me and her are way more on the same page than me and you are with music.
You ain't gotta be like that. You ain't gotta be like that,
Probably.
Wyatt. And call me out. No.
Well, see, I know who Pearl Jam is, and if I heard a song, I probably would know, but I wouldn't know a name of a song. So if you were directly asked me, I wouldn't know.
Don't
off
get
the top of my head, but I am not I'm the worst person with names. So it has to be so relevant. Like I remember the melody, I remember the sound, but if it's a name, I can't do it. I could do it, but my brain is like in one ear, out the other.
What's your favorite kind of music?
Do you like musicals?
I do. I love musicals.
Yeah, I
was in a musical in high school. Actually, I wasn't in the musical. I was the sound producer. So I helped with the cool sounds and stuff. Because I can't sing. So obviously I wasn't in on that end, but I was able to work behind the scenes. And I can't dance. So that also didn't help to be in a musical. So I worked behind the scenes on sound. So I do love musicals. I think they're beautiful. And it makes, I think, plays a lot more fun too, because you have all this music and who doesn't love that? But, my favorite is R&B. I love hip hop. I love rap.
Oh, who's your favorite to listen to? Who's your favorite to listen to? You gonna get
it goes back and forth. So I really like Russ. I really like Drake. I think everybody likes Drake.
Oh man, you're gonna get a big African American fan base.
I really like Kanye, and especially before 808 Heartbreaks, one of my favorite albums of his.
Oh my God! Look at you! Look at you, man! You're gonna have a big African American fan base after this. They're gonna be like, Lizzy. Oh my God! Thanks, BT.
Yeah. I just think, and I grew up with four brothers, and so I've always loved, R&B, and so hip hop I've always listened to it, and I love Billie Eilish too. But if the majority of what I'm listening to is going to be hip hop or rap.
Look at this. Oh my God, man. See, you learn different things about you. And I want to know about your cooking, because our teacher, who is the greatest in the world, Beth, we love Beth. She said you are great in the culinary arts. So how did that come about? And what's your favorite meal to make? What's your favorite dish to make?
My dad's actually a phenomenal cooker. And so he always made the best meals growing up. So I learned a lot from him. So I really credit, because he learned a lot from his mom, and my grandma is from Japan. So a lot of our recipes are very Asian inspired. So one thing to know about my family and about me is almost every meal that I have, we have rice. It's an automatic rice, whether that's with pasta. Well, okay, but not as much now, especially since I'm preparing for a pageant. I've kind of cut rice out just a little
Yes.
bit. I still have rice. I still have
Yes.
rice, but it's not with every meal like it used to be growing up. And so I've learned a whole lot from him, and I really like home cooked meals. I just think it makes me feel better. And so as I've gotten older and learned, I've always pulled from my dad, and I have a cookbook from my grandma. And so I make a lot of Asian inspired meals. Now with Beth, I was making some different sort of healthy-ish meals that I thought were good because I was 17 at the time. So they were okay, but I've definitely perfected some really good meals. Like I do bibimbap, which is a Korean style meal. It's really good. It's got rice, vegetables, and beef. So you should look that up. It's delicious. It's a little sweet and spicy.
Okay.
Skaki, which is a meal. I don't even know if I say that right, but that's how my dad says it. So I'm assuming that's right. It could be sukiyaki, but we say skaki in my family. And so that's a Japanese inspired meal that my grandma made. And so you actually cook everything in front of you. So you have, typically we do steak, and then there's cabbage, rice noodles, and you have rice and broccoli, and you literally cook it in a broth of it's soy sauce. There's vinegar, sugar, and actually you could sub the vinegar out for beer, but I typically do like red wine vinegar. So that one is one of my favorite meals to do because you cook everything together in this one little pot.
Wow. Okay. So I'm pretty
good. If you ever need some recipes, let me know because I'll get you some.
Are you going to be on Chopped on the Food Network anytime soon? Like women of pageants? How are you, buddy? I got the Miss Kentucky USA on right now. Miss 2022 Kentucky USA.
Oh.
She's beautiful. He goes, he's taken. He's taken.
He said he's taken. He's like, I can't talk to her. I'm sorry. Okay. We love it. We love a loyal guy.
He goes, he's taken. I love this. So are you going to be on Chopped anytime soon? Like the women of pageants cooking? Are you going to?
We'll see. Maybe. I don't know about my presentation because it looks good when I'm cooking, and then I just kind of throw it together. But don't let that deter you because it tastes amazing. So
I bet everything you do is good, girl. Everything you do is good. Now, okay, so when's the Miss USA pageant coming? When's Miss USA pageant coming?
We actually haven't learned yet. So hopefully, I'm assuming maybe fallish, but again, we have no idea. So it was in November last year. So it could be around November, could be before. Have no idea. We should hopefully find out soon. I don't know, but I'll let you know when I know.
I can't wait to know. And I want to know, what's your overall goals? I mean, for pageants and life, what's your overall goal for Lizzy Neutz? Since you got the world right here. I mean, if people don't know, she also is in the real estate. She's an entrepreneur. I mean, she has the world right here, and I think she knows it, but she's being real sly. And she's a great actress. And she's a great actress, by the way. And I mean, what don't you do? You have women's empowerment, which is great. She just won the Miss Kentucky USA pageant. She's going to do the pageant of the USA pageant. She has a real estate business. What is it, like pageant-wise? What's your goals, and what's your goals in life?
Life, I want to live myself with no regrets. So that's why I feel like I'm into all these different things, is because I want to do these things and I don't want to regret anything or not doing anything as I get older. And so I really feel like I'm living true to myself in everything that I want to do. I've been skydiving twice. So who would have known I would have done that? And it was something that I wanted to just check off my bucket list. I competed in a pageant, I've done all these things. And so I really feel like I'm doing what I want. I want to be an actress. I am taking the steps to be an actress. And so I just want to make sure that when I get to, telling my grandkids stories, that they're going to be stories that I'm proud of, and stories, whether or not that I achieve them, that at least I tried. Within pageantry, I just want to be real. I think, especially in the world of social media, there can be a gray area where some things are just kind of superficial, and through pageantry, I just want people to see the real me. Hi, people. see the real me and the authentic me, and just be able to offer that, because I think that's so important, especially with the move on social media, is just being your authentic self, and not having anything like that deter you, or having social media scare you, because it's a great thing, but also just leading it in a sense that I'm being true to myself.
I mean, I can honestly say this. Honestly, yes, you are what you. I mean, what you see here, it's not an act. This is who she is. She's just wonderful, man. I'm so glad to have you as a friend and just a fellow actor.
Same.
I mean, to watch you work, she puts in great work. And you know what's funny? And Wyatt heard this. I had my mom on speakerphone, and I go, Mama. I said, she's a great. She goes, oh yeah, she'll get a role. She's probably better than you, because she'll get a role.
Oh my gosh.
Because I text her a picture.
You're one of the best actors I know. So
stop it. I text her a picture of you.
You are.
I text her a picture of you, and she goes, "Oh yeah, she gonna get a part before you will." She did. Did she say
I
that?
love your mom. Me and your mom will be best friends.
Hey, my mom would love you. She really would.
That's very sweet of her. Tell her I said thank you. That is very sweet of her.
I will do that, man. I knew this was gonna be fun. I couldn't wait for this. I really couldn't. And you know what? I put this out there. I gotta do it right. You answered my mom's question without me asking you, but there was a question. I said, any question for you? And I think you know who said this, but they go, the question was to you was, why don't people have maps?
Oh my God.
And I think you know who that's from.
I do know who that's from. If you don't have a map by now, especially with technology, you need to get a map. I don't really have a good answer for that. Technology helps in so many different ways.
Yes.
So you have it like right at the palm of your fingers. I think everybody, especially if you're over the age of, hopefully if you're over the age of 18, you at least have a phone. And I think every phone comes with Apple Maps, Google Maps,
right?
Just a map in general. So
right. I think that's great.
You should have one.
Yeah, I think you knew who that question was from. I thought it was
I
great.
Do. I commented on that actually on social media.
I love it. Oh my God, Lizzy, I could talk to you forever. And I mean, it's from the bottom of my heart. It's just, like I said, people, what you see is what you get with her. And growing up and looking at that, you thought, oh, these women are, I didn't know. I was like, they're faking this and that. But knowing you now, I see it's just the truth. These people with goals and they achieve them, and it's an empowerment and it's a positive movement. And just knowing you make people around you better. I mean, it's like I say, Beth is the greatest coach. She's like the Bill Belichick of coaches. Well, you're that. If she's the coach, then it comes down here, and then you're one of her disciples, and you're going to make people around you better, because that's what you do in class, because everybody gravitates you, and you put the great energy out there, and it's just nothing but positivity. So I appreciate you being on the show. Thank you for coming on this show. My first beauty pageant. And I just, I was so excited today. I mean, last night it was like a kid getting ready to go for Christmas Eve. I was like, I'm going to see on the show. So thank you so much, Lizzy. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
E.T., thank you. I'm just happy to know you and to be on this podcast. And I can't wait to see all the wonderful things you do.
Thank you so much, baby. I appreciate
Glad
that.
Glad to know
you. Thank you so much. We're all happy here now. We're all smiles here. Thank you so much. Lizzy Neutz, 2022 Miss Kentucky USA. She's going to win the Miss USA pageant. She's going to win Miss Universe. And after that, then I'll probably have to talk to her assistant to get her booked on here again. But then again,
I'll always find time for you, BT. Don't worry.
That's future problem. So thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Lizzy. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for watching Tales from a Gemini. I'm BT, and like we say about this time, you know the word, peace.